Hi, my name is Natalie, and I've been teaching and practicing tantric meditations for the past 10 years. And I recently opened this YouTube channel where I'm talking about different topics that have to do with tantra, sexuality, emotional healing, and meditation. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about our addiction to porn. It's one of the biggest addictions today in our modern world. It is something that regular, ordinary men find themselves dealing with on a daily basis. It can be very embarrassing. I've talked to men who go to the toilet in the middle of their day at work and masturbate there with porn on their phone. I think men have been doing this for a long time. I know men sometimes, at night they'll go to the balcony or to a different room and they'll masturbate there by themselves with the porn. And it's something that has become very addictive for a lot of people. If you're single, it's even worse because you have your own house and you can do whatever you want and you can basically masturbate all day. And I think one of the difficult things with porn is that it's so accessible. When I grew up in the 80s, you had to get a video cassette and you needed a TV and you needed a video player, so you needed a room. It was a lot more complicated than it is today. Today, it's in the touch of your finger and it's in your phone wherever you are. It's free a lot of the times. There's so much porn online and it pops up wherever you go. And another thing that I think men are dealing with is that even if you go into like Facebook and Instagram, and I am to blame a little bit because I also upload these pictures of myself in very sexy like poses and stuff because, I like sharing my pictures. But if a man is going to go into Instagram and you see all these bikinis and there's so much sexualization everywhere online, that, we need to understand that the way that this works. A man feels, he's doing something, he feels a certain way, he's maybe sad or tired or lonely, and, just like everyone else, you start scrolling on your phone, then you see more boobies, more bikinis, more naked girls, and the sexual energy is activated and you start to get horny. And then at one point you're like, okay, fuck it, whatever, I'm just gonna masturbate on porn. And it's so accessible, and it happens even if you didn't mean for it to happen and you just went online to scroll. It might eventually reach that point where you get so horny that you're gonna masturbate. So why do we get addicted to it? What can we do about it? And how can we approach this in a different way? I don't specifically work with people around addictions, but it happens that so many people are addicted to something that I do work with a lot of people with addictions in emotional work. And one of the most important things that I always tell people is that it's not about stopping this thing. It's not about not watching porn ever again and holding myself and then I really want to but I can't. That's not the point. That never works. The real way to work with any kind of addiction, including porn addiction, is to understand the emotion that I feel right before I go in the porn and start to masturbate, because there is an emotion there that I do not want to face. And because I don't want to face it, I do something else immediately that's just going to, give me that relief that I need and that good feeling that I need. The only problem is eventually the same bad feeling is going to come up again. And then my brain is already wired to just go to the porn every time that emotion comes up. It happens subconsciously. We're not even necessarily aware of this happening. So in our minds, we were just horny and went to the porn like we always did. But in truth, in reality, there was a negative emotion that came up, and my subconscious, in order to protect me from that negative emotion, told me to go watch the porn immediately as that emotion came up, and then the emotion is shoved down into the body, into our emotional system, and we masturbate with the porn and we get that immediate gratification, but maybe a few hours or a few days after, I'm going to feel bad again. So the real way to approach any addiction, and this is no different than any other addiction, is to start doing emotional work and to start to understand, okay, yes, I'm feeling horny and I want to watch porn. Yes, it's because of the Instagram and all these naked girls. But what else am I feeling in those moments that I want to watch the porn? And I think we're so busy at being angry at ourselves for watching it and complaining about the addiction and being embarrassed about it and feel guilty for doing it, that we don't stop to actually explore this habit. And it's a habit like any other habits. And we have so many addictions and habits that are bad for us. And most of them were originally created in order to help us because we were feeling a certain way. And then our brain figured out, well, if you do that, we're not going to feel that way anymore. And that's how we learned how to soothe ourselves emotionally through different addictions. The emotional work is to start to understand, what am I actually feeling? And one way of doing that is right before I open the next porn site, stop, close your eyes, breathe, and just ask yourself, what else am I feeling at the moment? And it might be difficult. I might not be able to recognize what I'm feeling in that moment because I'm not used to recognizing my own emotions. But it's an exercise and we want to do it every time. And eventually we will start feeling or noticing all the other emotions that are coming up with the desire to watch porn. So I think it's very important, if we do want to work on this addiction, which I recommend, because like any other addiction, it's not healthy for us. It doesn't actually solve our problems, and it does suck out a lot of our life energy and make us weaker. And when we're weaker, we're easier to control, and then we just become, you know, these zombie-like figures who just do whatever we're told to do, and we don't even ask questions on like why we're supposed to do that, because we're just so weak and we don't have energy left. So the main goal is to preserve our life force and our life energy so that we can be stronger, more powerful, honest, confident people, so we can make the right decisions in our life and go to the right places and be with the right people and fulfill the potential that we have in our life to be these incredible, powerful beings. And that's the end goal. So we want to preserve our energy. And a lot of our energy is depleted through porn and masturbation because that sexual energy, it's our life force. So we're depleting our own life energy. And although we might know that and we might understand how porn is bad for you, we still can't stop doing it. And then men have this like inner fight, inner war with themselves, with the two voices. Let's watch porn. No, but it's bad for you. Yes, but it will be really fun. And eventually, a lot of the times, the voice telling us to watch porn wins because it's so immediate, the gratification and the good feeling. It's very hard to resist. And I understand it. And that's like any other addiction, by the way. It's just so available and so fun. And I just love sex. What's wrong with it? There's so many excuses why we should watch it. And I'm not saying don't watch it. I'm saying take a pause between the moment that the thought came up to watch it and when you actually watch it. Just take a pause of like 5-10 minutes, do meditation, breathe, close your eyes and ask yourself, what else am I feeling in this moment? What other emotion is alive inside of me besides the desire to watch porn? And you can scan your body, and you can imagine the inner child and ask him how he's feeling. You can imagine yourself from the outside and try to see from someone else's perspective what I'm feeling. There are a lot of ways that we can find out what else we're feeling besides the desire to watch more porn. And it's not easy, and it takes practice. And sometimes it does help to work with someone like me who can mirror back to you your emotions and show you and help you see what you're feeling, because sometimes it's like an echo chamber of one and I'm stuck inside of my head and I'm just answering my own questions, and sometimes you need someone from the outside to help you do that. But we do want to understand that, you know, wanting to watch porn on a sexual basis alone makes sense. It's people having sex. It's always nice to watch and it's going to make me horny. But if I do it once in a while, or I do it sometimes with my partner, and it is this thing that helps me with the sexual energy, then that's fine. But if it becomes an addiction, if it becomes something that I do every time that I'm feeling bad, if it becomes something that I do 2-3 times a day, every day, and if I start having thoughts in my head that, you know, maybe this isn't good for me and I should stop, that's when what I'm talking about can come into place, and we can start using our addiction for porn to explore our emotional world and our subconscious and everything that's going on underneath the thought of wanting to go watch porn. So I will make more videos on porn addiction and masturbation addiction, because each time I start to talk about it, I talk about one specific thing, and then it becomes a long video, so I can't put it all in one video. As you understand, this is a huge topic. We can address it from so many angles and so many perspectives, but it's important that we talk about it, and it's important that we raise awareness around this issue, and it's also important that we add the emotional layer to the story, because if we don't, it's just something very physical and we're just fighting with ourselves, and it's never ending. But once we add the emotional layer, suddenly we can see the whole thing from a different perspective, and it can also help us deal with this issue in a different way. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. If you like my channel and you like this video, I upload these kind of topics all the time on my channel. It's something that I do almost on a daily basis because I love doing it, and I feel like it's important and it helps me understand things, and I love interacting with you. So thanks for watching my video. Thank you for all the new subscribers. You're more than welcome to follow me and to comment what your thoughts are on this subject, if there are any more subjects you want me to talk about, and just in general to say hi. And yeah, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.